Midnight spiritual reflection, communication with ghosts and the deceased. Welcome. In this video, we will step into the dark and mysterious world of midnight. We will embark on a deep journey into the topic of communication with ghosts and the deceased, echoes in the dark, unknown energies, and connections with the spirits of the dead. We will explore all of these together. Is it truly possible to communicate with the spiritual world at midnight, or is this merely a legend born from humanity's curiosity about life after death? The spirits of the dead, a convergence point of the past and future. Since ancient times, humans have believed in an existence beyond death. Civilizations such as ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, and Rome developed various beliefs that spirits of the dead could communicate with the living. These beliefs created a strong perception that life after death is not a transition, but continues in another form of existence, especially at midnight. This was believed to be a time when these connections could be more easily established. Night is a time when everything is wrapped in silence, when the world falls into a deep sleep, and therefore spiritual energies can move more freely. The mystical nature of the night also brings with it fear. It is believed that spiritual beings are closer during this time. Stepping into the world of ghosts and the dead often reflects a person's subconscious fears, and the courage to face them becomes part of the experience. Midnight, opening the gates of the spiritual world. Midnight is a turning point where time is questioned and lost beings revolve. Throughout history, people have viewed the night not only as a time for rest, but also as a door to the world of spirits. At midnight, when the darkness is at its deepest and nature's energy is felt most intensely, it is believed to be the most opportune moment for those attempting to communicate with the dead to establish connections in teachings such as spiritualism and occultism. Midnight is defined as the ideal time to begin spiritual practices. Spiritual SANCs, rituals aimed at communicating with the dead, are believed to have more powerful effects when conducted at this time. Midnight is a period when people's mental faculties are more open and spirits are more easily heard and felt. Many people claim to have felt the presence of a being or heard an unexpected sound when they wake up at midnight. The presence of doubt in the dark or the loss of a forgotten memory can sometimes be the return of a ghost or a deceased spirit. Night is actually a time when the boundary between life and death becomes blurred. This is why the search for communication with the dead becomes more evident in the dark corridors of the night, the world of ghosts, connecting with the lost spirits of the past. The existence of ghosts is closely tied to beliefs in life after death. The spirits of the deceased may watch over the living, deliver a message, or return to resolve an unresolved matter from the past. Midnight is the time when people's yearning for lost loved ones or their desire to reconnect with past lives is most intense. Night represents not only darkness, but also the symbolic descent into the subconscious and the opening of the dusty shelves of the past. Some people claim to receive messages from lost loved ones or beings they knew in past lives at midnight. This might take the form of a dream, a whisper, or even a more tangible experience. The spirits of the dead sometimes return, like a lost fragment, wanting to deliver a message, complete something they left unfinished, or merely watch over the living. These types of encounters with ghosts are not always chilling. Some people report feeling a spiritual connection with their lost loved ones and say that these encounters bring them peace. The night, in this sense, becomes a space where it is possible to connect with another world, and emotions are recognized. The world of the dead can be both terrifying and comforting. Spiritualism, rituals of communication with the dead. Spiritualism is a movement that seeks to approach communication with the dead in a scientific manner. Spiritualists believe that the spirits of the deceased can leave traces of their earthly lives and communicate with the living. This belief has been adopted by many individuals who perform spiritual seances and occult rituals to communicate with the dead. Midnight, the ideal time for such rituals, as it is not only a time shrouded in darkness, but also a moment when spiritual energies are at their peak. Many people who take part in spiritualist seances claim to receive messages from their lost loved ones. These messages express unbroken emotional bonds from a past relationship or offer warnings for the future. When people experience these communications, they not only find spiritual peace, but also embark on a journey of confronting death and accepting their losses. Spiritualist rituals, when performed at midnight, create an environment where the spirits of the dead can more openly communicate. However, each person approaches this experience differently. Some show the courage to connect with the dead, believing it brings them closure, while for others, it can be a traumatic experience. Those who are mentally and anxiety generated by such contact with the spirit world. Midnight's spiritual power between fear and curiosity. Midnight is a time when the desire to communicate with ghosts and the dead reaches its peak, triggering both fear and anxiety while simultaneously igniting a deep curiosity and desire for discovery. Death is often seen as a journey into the unknown, and humans long to understand death and life beyond it. However, this journey can be terrifying. Communicating with the dead is not just a spiritual quest, but also an act of personal courage. The night is a hidden combination of both poles, fear and curiosity. The fine line between life and death disappears, and all the subconscious fears rise to the surface. The search for communication with the dead serves as a reminder of how intertwined life and death truly are. Conclusion: the unknown world of midnight. In conclusion, midnight is a time to dive deep into the realms of spiritual reflection. The quest to communicate with ghosts and the dead evokes both fear and curiosity. Night is a moment that opens the doors to the subconscious, symbolizing the transition between life and death. A spiritual journey may offer a person the chance to face their inner world, explore new meanings, and perhaps even experience a kind of awakening as they seek to understand the world beyond death. Thank you for listening. If you would like to explore more deep and mysterious topics like this, please don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next. May your light always shine bright on your spiritual journey.